Let's come back to our same query again, where we are retrieving some records from the lead object, and we have some filters on the lead status field and the lead source field. On the lead status, we have two conditions. The first one is that status should be the closed converted, or the status can be closed not converted as well. Now what if there are more than 20 possible values that we are trying to match, or what if there are like 100 plus matching values that we are trying to use in our SOQL? Then this syntax will become very long, and also our query performance will degrade. So there should be a better way to write our query and get the same result, and we are going to talk about that now. I'm going to introduce you to a new keyword in SOQL statement, and it's called the in keyword. And this in keyword accepts multiple possible values for a single field, and that's what we exactly want. For example, we have this query where we have two different values for the same status field, so we can write this better using this in keyword, and this is how we will write it. We will say where status in, and then we will use our parentheses, and within these parentheses we are going to add all the possible values, and we will separate all these values with a comma. So our query is much shorter, and on performance side as well, it's going to perform better than our previous query. And if you have like more than 10 or 20 or 50 plus values, then specifying them in the in keyword makes more sense rather than using them in the or keyword. So we can go back to our developer console now, and we can try out this in keyword. We are going to modify our existing query. So I'm going to get rid of these parentheses. You can keep those parentheses as they are doing no harm, but it doesn't add any value as well. And I'm going to remove this equals to operator, and instead of that I'm going to use my in keyword, and then I'm going to open a parenthesis here. Then I'll remove my or keyword, and instead of or keyword I'm going to use a comma, and then let's remove this status again. Let's close our parenthesis after all the possible values, and we should still get the same result. Let's execute the query, and this time when we are using this in keyword, we are still getting the same two rows. So there isn't any difference in the result, but our query looks much better. Now there's one more way to modify this query and achieve the similar result. For example, instead of having this close converted and close not converted, let's say we have few more status starting with closed. Maybe like closed as a single word, or could be like closed invalid, or closed won, closed lost, or could be any more possible values starting with closed. Having all those possible values in this in keyword makes total sense, but we can also use another keyword in SOQL statement that will make our task much simpler, and let's talk about that now. Let's learn about one more keyword in SOQL statement, and this is called like. And this like keyword you can use to partially match your text strings, and it also supports wildcards. So as I said, let's say you want to match all the status which has closed word in between somewhere in the string, then like would be your best bet. And it accepts wildcard as well. For example, it accepts ampersand, and this ampersand wildcard matches with 0 or more characters. So let's say if you write like fact ampersand, then it's going to match all the possible values which are starting with fact. So it should have a word fact in it, and then you can have any number of characters after fact from 0 to more characters. So it's going to match with fact where there is no character after the T character. It's going to match with facts as well, or factor, or maybe like anything that you have after your T character here, or instead of ampersand. But it's not going to match with SFDC facts. The reason being, the string should start with fact, but here our string is starting with SFDC. And it's not going to match with facial as well, because this keyword is missing a T character. So it must start with fact, and then you can have any number of characters after that. and you can place this ampersand anywhere in your string. So if you write your string like ampersand fact ampersand, then it's going to match fact, facts, factor and SFDC facts as well, because you have this ampersand before your fact word as well. So you can place this ampersand anywhere and it's going to match with 0 or more characters. Now similar to this ampersand wildcard, we have one more wildcard called underscore, and this matches with exactly one character. For example, if we have underscore INE, then this string should have one character before INE word. So the possible matches could be mine, line, pine, but it's not going to match with shine because it has two characters before INE, and it's not going to match with inevitable as well because this INE doesn't have any character before it. So it must have a character before the INE word. So let's go back to the developer console and use our like keyword. So let's remove this in keyword and these values. What we can do is like, and then I'm going to write closed here. One more thing that I forgot to tell you about the like keyword is it matches this value or it performs the search case insensitively. So it doesn't matter if you are having this C in capital or in small, because it's going to match the complete word and it's going to ignore the case. And in this query, since we can accept any status after this closed word, we can use a ampersand here. This way we will make sure that both closed converted and closed not converted are possible match. So let's execute this query, and again we have got the similar result. Although we have got the similar result using this like operator or like keyword as well, you should always try to avoid using this like operator. The reason being, it degrades your query performance because it's going to search through your entire table and it's going to find all the possible matches where there is a closed word in it. Unlike this in operator where we define all our possible values beforehand. So use in operator wherever you can, but in some cases where you cannot use the in keyword and it's absolutely necessary to use the like keyword, then you can go ahead and use it.